Hello, everybody. This is Patrick Lee, host of Midweek Motivation Live. Today, I'm going to be on here bringing you an additional supplement. Today, I want to talk to you about the home buying process. At the end of most of my videos, I talk to you about my digital business card, www.patricklee.work. And if you have any needs of buying a home, selling a home, or investing in real estate, I always ask you to click on that link, set up an appointment in my calendar through calendly.com, and I'd be happy to talk to you about the process of purchasing a home, selling a home, or investing in real estate. But I have a good friend with me today that I want to introduce to you. He's been phenomenal at helping me and my team with a lot of our purchasers that may not be quite ready to purchase a home. We set them up with an appointment with a lender, and that lender says, hey, we've got a little bit of credit work that needs to be done or something along those lines. And that, it inspires us to bring that person in touch with a credit repair specialist or someone who can work with that person on building wealth. Let me open this window up just to hear a little bit. Good deal. Just wanted to get a little bit more light in here in the office. It's a sunny day outside. It's a beautiful day here at Amarillo, Texas, and I wanted to share a little bit of that with you. But I've got a great friend with me here. I'm going to bring him into the studio in just a minute, and we're going to talk to you a little bit about wealth restoration. And we try not to call it credit repair, but if we can help you develop the wealth that you need, the credit score that you need to be able to qualify for a home loan, wouldn't that be good information for you? So I have a good friend in the studio. His name is Aubrey Garrett, and Aubrey is with me today. Aubrey is with United Wealth Educators. How you doing today, Aubrey?
Man, I'm doing great, Patrick. Thank you for having me on, man. I really enjoy working with you, working with your group, working with your people. Man, y'all are professional, top-notch, all the way around. And, man, I tell you, it's exciting to see the things that you guys are doing.
Stop.
Man, you guys are really doing it. I mean, your team, your Honey Badgers, you guys are killing it here in Amarillo, man, and your other surrounding towns, man. I love just seeing, the success that y'all are having on a daily basis, man. It's amazing. It's phenomenal.
Too much. You're too much. Thank you. I tell people all the time, we're probably the most famous group that you've never heard of in Amarillo, Texas. We specialize in helping people sell homes. Number one, sell homes that other realtors have had listed and had a hard time getting sold. And then we also specialize on the other side of getting homes under contract that buyers may have been working with another agent and been unsuccessful in getting an offer accepted. So one of the things that we like to pride ourselves in is the fact that we go up against other offers continuously on a regular basis, and we end up winning those offers. But one of the foundations of that, anytime we enter into an agreement to work with a buyer, is making sure that that buyer is qualified for a home loan. And a lot of people call us and they say, hey, we're interested in buying a home. We want to go see home, 123 Main Street. And then we want you to help us buy it. And we stop them right there and we say, hey, just for a moment here, we need to explain to you, you've got the cart before the horse. Before we go out and start showing you homes that you may or may not be qualified to purchase, we need to set you up with a mortgage lender first. And many times we come up against this hurdle of, hey, this person either has time on the job or they have a decent credit score, but it's not where it needs to be to qualify for the home loan that they desire, right? And when that happens, one of two things happens. The person either gets their balloon gets deflated and they become depressed and they say, well, maybe in a year or two, I'll try again, right? They decide, well, I guess buying a home is not for me at this time. Number one, that's wrong. Number two, right? Or number two, they say, I don't understand, why is this happening to me? and they get a little bit depressed, and they say, well, it's your job, figure it out, right? You're the realtor, figure it out. Well, as a realtor, there's not a lot that we can do other than give them a little bit of advice of how to manipulate their credit file to help them out a little bit. But that's where people like you come in to play, right? You're with United Wealth Restoration, and you're sort of a wealth restoration credit guy, and you have programs and plans available to help people in that situation, correct?
Yes, sir. Man, I step in and I bridge that gap, Patrick. My job is, I'm here and my passion is to help people. And I'm here for when bad things happen to good people.
Right.
When I mean bad things happen to good people, when they're trying to buy a home, they've had some issues with their finances, and that's why it's called financial restoration. Things happen that aren't necessarily, they don't have any control of. You lose a
Right.
job, your job moves, you have a unexpected or extended illness, which is extremely prevalent with this COVID stuff right now. You lose a loved one, even divorce. These things they happen to people, their life. And when those things happen, good people fall behind. And when they fall behind, I mean, they get back up on top. It may take them 2 or 3 months, but in that 2 or 3 months, they miss a couple of payments here and there. And what I'm here to help is I don't believe that's fair, and I don't like it that good people have 7 years of trying to get through this process. They're dragging a boat anchor for the next 7 years,
Yeah,
when they've gotten back on
absolutely.
top in 2 or 3 years. And that's where I bridge the gap, and I'm here to help.
That's incredible. Now you work with a company that offers multiple different streams or different leverage tools to help someone get back on track with their credit, correct?
Yes, sir. Typically, when I work with somebody, when they've come to you and they've been turned down, they find out that, hey, they've got some chinks in the armor. They've got a few things missing. They don't necessarily
Mhm.
qualify. They come to me, and man, I help them identify where those shortcomings are, and it's just I find out exactly where they are, and I tell them what they need to do to bridge that gap to get to where they need to go.
What would someone what would someone that comes to us with a subpar credit score, maybe we work with a lender and they'll go all the way down, let's say to a 580 credit score. And they say, at a 580 credit score, we can get you into a basic FHA loan, which is not like a first-time home buyer's loan with guaranteed grants or something along with that to assist them with their down payment. But it's a basic FHA loan. They're going to have to come up with 3.5% down on this loan. But they don't even, most regular banks require a 640 credit score or above. This person can't even achieve a 580. They may have been through a divorce. They may have not any credit, or they've worked on trying to build their credit, but they've got a bunch of late pays or something along those lines, and it's really hurt their credit. Are there any kind of things that you can do to help them increase that credit score quickly, or is it something that's going to take 6 to 9 months?
Yeah, Patrick, I can definitely help them out, and I can help them out in a decent amount of time, And really, the first part of the process is talking with them, identifying where they are. And when I work with most people, I find that if they have a credit problem, their credit problem is not really a credit problem. Their credit problem is actually a money problem. They
Right.
either are not making enough money, or they're not budgeting or using their money efficiently. So that's why I am a financial restoration expert, because I work with them on their budgeting first and foremost, because you can't move forward in a productive way with a busted budget. You've got to learn how to budget.
Right.
And I'm not here to treat the symptoms. I'm here to treat the cause. So we're gonna work. We got tools to help you work on fixing your budget first and foremost. And in fixing your budget, you're gonna learn how to pay off your debt efficiently and effectively using a debt snowball. We have tools for that. And then
Right.
we're gonna transfer. We're gonna transfer you into using some of our tools to build your net worth. For me personally, I teach anybody that I work with on financial restoration that as an adult, you no longer have a report card like you had in school. Your adult report card is your credit score and your net worth. And we've got to get to work on those. And once we get to work on those, you build a picture, you know, and this picture is what we build upon to make you viable for a home loan.
Right. I love that. I love that. With the company that you're with, what kind of tools do you currently offer to assist a buyer with improving their credit score?
Well, our flagship product happens to be credit restoration. With credit restoration, you know, I teach you budgeting and net worth to help you build a solid foundation and get an understanding and get control of your budget and to learn the difference between an asset and a liability so you start building on the right and a solid foundation. We use credit restoration as a tool to help clear up the past. Like I said, when good things happen or when bad things happen to good people, that's what credit restoration is there for. We use credit restoration to go through and help clean up the past, help clean up some of those mispayments, some of those collections, you know, and those things that you necessarily just can't go and have immediate influence over. Like I said, we've got a budgeting tool, help you get your budget in place. We have a debt payoff tool. You know, this is really crucial to help people just organize their debts, find out exactly where they are, and get an effective and efficient plan to pay those things down in the most effective way possible. You know,
Right.
I also teach you how to monitor your credit and the importance of keeping an eye on that. And actually, you know, we have identity theft tools available that actually work with pre-existing identity theft. Nobody does pre-existing identity theft but us.
That's
so
incredible.
If you know anybody who is fighting through identity theft right now, you need to get them to me. Or anybody who's had it in the past and still hasn't got it cleaned up, they need to talk to me because we have tons of tools available to help them. You know, we do identity. Yeah, we do identity monitoring. I've actually got a credit builder program that teaches people what type of credit they should be getting and when to get it. I specialize in helping people find high impact accounts that will have the most impact on their credit score in a positive manner, not a negative manner, you know?
Yes, I love that. You have actually helped me with my own credit score in the past. You know, we sat down to look at mine, and I'm a real estate agent. This is what I do for a living. And I counsel people all the time that come to me and say, hey, I'm interested in buying a home. And I connect them with a good local lender in our market. And they come across these certain little glitches or hurdles they need to jump over in getting a score that's going to be acceptable. So I personally went to you and said, hey, I want to just get an overview, a snapshot of what my credit looks like. And there are multiple tools that you have to look at that, and found out that I'm a co-signer on a credit card for my own daughter, who we are helping her build credit. And hey, I'm just going to be brutally honest, right? I always out my kids on social media as a means of helping other people, and they understand that. My daughter makes good money, but she had a couple of late pays on her credit card, and she got the late pays caught up, but she was carrying the credit card at a limit above 30% of the balance, right? The available credit. And every week or every month, that was causing a negative ding on my credit score, right? So one of the things that you taught me specifically was to keep that account paid off at below 30% of the available line of credit. And then when you make those payments in a timely manner, you get positive dings, positive points against your credit score. And that's helped me improve my own credit score. And these are the kind of things that you can help other people learn as well, correct?
Yes, sir, man. You hit it right on the head, Patrick. There are so many people playing this credit game.
Yes.
And they don't know the rules.
Right, exactly. What point is it to play?
You can't win.
You can't win if you don't know the rules.
You can't win a Monopoly. You can't win a chess. You can't win a check. You can't even win Connect Four if you don't know the rules of the game.
No, you can't. That's exactly right.
So, man, that's why financial restoration and financial education is so essential. You've got to know the rules of the game that you're playing. And our products teach you the rules of the game. You've got to learn how to use a credit card properly. You've got to know that, hey, you pay a credit card off. You never you never turn them off. You never close them out. You pay them to a zero balance. And if you can't pay them to a zero balance, you want to keep it to at least 10% or less,
Yeah.
And you want them to get older and older and older. There's several tips and tricks to this game in order for you to succeed. And like I said, people are playing this game. They're not getting ahead. They're doing what they think is right. And some rules of credit work opposite to how you think. I mean, some rules of credit are actually opposite of what you think. Some things you think you're doing well actually hurt you. Some things that you aren't think you're doing great are helping you.
Absolutely.
And you have to sit down, educate somebody, and teach them these things so they know how to play this game and win.
That's incredible. And when we're helping someone buy a home, that has a desire to buy a home, that's what we're looking for, is a win-win situation. And when we assign this person to a lender and they run their credit and then they let them know we have a little hiccup here, we have some hurdles we need to jump over in order to get you qualified, then these are the kind of things that you have to offer that person. And I'm in a group of agents called the Honey Badgers at eXp Realty, which happens to be the brokers that I work for. There are about 7,500 of us, and there are some agents that will go into our own private groups and they will say, hey, how do you nurture a potential buyer that is interested in buying a home, but their credit's not where it needs to be? Do you have like a drip campaign or a means of helping this person be coached into the position to where they can become a successful home buyer? And this is one of the things, introducing them to a person like yourself is one of the first things that we can do to help that person along the road to becoming a successful home buyer, correct?
Man, that is absolutely correct. And I mean, again,
Right.
nail on the head again is, I bridge that gap. When they get told, no, they can't buy a home because things aren't right, they're essentially broke, busted, and disgusted people. And they're looking for any help they can get for how do I get there? And when you point them to me, I take the time to identify where they are. And like I said, I pull no punches. A lot of this stuff you've behaved your way into. So you can't be shy or coy about it. You've got to be direct and let them know exactly where they're at. But also let them know.
Speak to that a little bit. You just said you worked your way into this. Explain that a little bit about how people potentially misuse their credit based on some current or common, misinformation about credit. How does someone work their way into bad credit?
Man, a lot of it is just not being properly educated. Just take a credit card, for example. This is an example I give several times over and over and over again. Somebody has challenged credit and they get the advice to go get a credit card, even if it's a secured credit card. They'll get one for like $300, right? And they're like, okay, I got the credit card. What am I supposed to do? Well, you got to use it. Well, they don't tell them how to properly use it. So this person takes the $300 credit card. They go to Walmart and they say, you know what? I got to use this card to build my credit.
Yes.
So I'm going to put $50 worth of gas in my SUV and I'm going to buy $60 worth of groceries.
Right. This is what a lot of lenders will teach a person to do, just so you know.
Now, what happens is that credit card with the $300 limit that you just use $110 on, you're at 33% of your maximum limit right now. The card you just got to build your credit just tanked your credit by 50, 60 points because you're using more than 33% of your available credit.
Exactly.
Another myth. Yeah, exactly. And they believe they have to use this card all the time. You don't. When it comes to credit cards, you need to let them get older and older and older. The older they get, the more valuable they become. Every year that credit card, it turns a year older, it's like a kid. Have a birthday celebration for it because it adds about 7 to 10 points to your credit score,
Yep.
And always pay it off. Pay it off to zero balance. If you can't pay it off to zero balance, pay it off to about 9% or less, you know? And that helps you grow your credit. And you don't have to use the card all the time. Use that card 3 to 4 times a year for $25. Let them bill you,
Yep.
pay it off, throw it back in the freezer, throw it under the dresser, hide it under your pillow, whatever you got to do, you know? And
Absolutely.
that's proper use. That's proper use of a credit card to build your credit for
I
first time,
love that.
for first time
Absolutely.
users and people who are just now learning the rules of this game.
Are there anything else, Aubrey? This is such good information. These are the things that really trip my trigger, because our goal here at the Patrick Lee Group is always to help people. We tell people all the time, you may not be a home buyer today, but you will be eventually. Hang in there, stick with us. Let us connect you with the people that can help you. And you're not a home buyer today, but you will be soon. And are there other kind of tools that you have available? And everyone likes to say, I've got a whole quiver full of arrows, and if this one process doesn't work for you, then we have other tools available to help you as well. Are there any other kind of tools that you offer at UWE that can help a person achieve an approvable credit score quickly?
Man, you talk about a quiver, a quiver full of arrows. I don't have a quiver full of arrows. I just have one big sledgehammer. My big sledgehammer is education, education, education. Like I said,
Yes.
I educate you about your budget. I educate you about your credit. I educate you about paying off debt. I educate you about credit law by using credit attorneys. I educate you about restoring through credit restoration. I mean, I educate you about savings goals and net worth building, and about building effective credit builder accounts.
Yeah.
And by education, when you know better, you do better. And you have the ability to change your entire financial family tree. Once you understand, you can teach your children. You can teach, and your children can teach their children's children. So in helping you get where you were turned down from a home, we use our tools at UCES and United Wealth Educators to change your financial outlook and your family's financial outlook through education. When you know better, you do better.
You do better. That's a great statement.
Yeah, I want to give my father a shout out, Michael Garrett. He did me one of the biggest favors in this life. He told me, he said, son, I will give you my money before I give you my name. I will never co-sign for you.
Wow.
Because it doesn't take long to ruin somebody's name. And when you ruin a name, it can hurt you for 7 to 10 years. You can make money back. You can make money back in 3 or 4 months.
Yes.
And I've used that philosophy with my family and my children, and with my children, we've educated them in such a way that, when they leave home, they have 700 plus credit scores. Mama and daddy will not be co-signing for anything. They can go buy their homes, cars, everything else that they need to do,
Absolutely.
When they leave the home.
Yes, sir. Can you see this comment up on the screen? One of our listeners, Irasema, just commented, I started with a secured credit card with $300 at 18 years old and ruined my credit, and took a long time to learn how to do this credit thing right. When someone gets their first credit card, what are one of the best ways for them? Like you said a little bit earlier, you touched on it. What are sort of the criteria that you need to use to learn how to use a credit card properly? Is there a balance you need to stay under? The amount of time you need to use a credit card, and when is it not a good time to use a credit card?
I'm going to speak from how a lending institution that's going to loan you money looks at a credit card and your usage of a credit card. Okay. And that's how I speak to people. I look at your credit card and I say, all right, you got this, just say $1,000 credit card to keep the numbers nice and even where everybody can, understand it. Yeah. I'm not that smart of a guy and I don't want to pull off my socks and start counting toes and fingers. So. But anyway, let's just use round numbers, $1,000. If you got $1,000 credit card and you want to learn how to properly use this credit card, you can use your credit card, but when you use your credit card, pay it off in full. If you can't pay it off in full, if you leave a balance on there and that balance is $0 to $90, your credit score will grow just a tiny bit. All right. Same credit card. If you can't pay your balance off in full and you've got a balance on that credit card of $100 to $290, your score will drop just a tiny bit. Now that same credit card, if you have a $300 or above balance on there, your score will drop like an effing rock.
Ooh, ouch.
It's the truth. And the reason being is, you've got to look at how financial institutions look at your credit use. 0 to 9% or 0 to 9% is considered responsible use of credit. 10 to 29% is still responsible use of credit. 30% or higher is considered irresponsible use of credit. And they look at you as living off of your credit, and that makes you a credit risk, and money runs from you then.
Ouch, ouch, ouch. And unfortunately, that's the nature of the first-time home buyer that we come into contact with a lot of times. And I talked with a young fellow this morning, and he has a client that has up to $25,000 to put down on a home, but he only has 6 months of experience on the job because he took an extended time off because of COVID. So he can't qualify for a traditional home loan right now. Even though his credit score is good, he has up to $25,000 in the bank. He's been trying to utilize his credit correctly, but he has unfortunately had to live off of that credit a little bit because he didn't want to spend his cash. So when the banks look at things like this, if you're under 30% of the balance on that credit card, it's acceptable. But if you're under 10% of the balance of that credit card in usage, that's actually desirable, right? So you want to keep those credit cards paid down. You don't want to eliminate them. If someone eliminates, they pay off their credit card and then just cancel the card, that's a negative hit on their credit score, correct?
Yes, man, your credit score is based on how many actual accounts you are making payments on at this time. It's not how many you paid in the past, how many you paid off. It's what are you doing for me right now? How many accounts do you have right now? Most people with 800 plus credit score, they have 30 to 33 active accounts that they're actively paying on, And I tell people, look at this thing and think of it like your grades in grade school or in college. You've got some classes where you've got homework every day and you've got 30, 40, 50 assignments. If you get a 0 on one test and you've got 30 or 40 other grades, it doesn't affect your score if you lose one. But if you've only got four classes or 4 accounts and you lose one, your score is affected dramatically by that. So,
very dramatically, absolutely.
Yeah. And that's where proper education comes in, with educating people on credit restoration as well. With restoration, we start taking items off of your credit, and these things are negative and they hurt you, but they're also part of your score. When those things start coming off, you need proper education on this. When these things start coming off, you need to replace them with good positive accounts to offset.
Right. You also have tools available at your disposal at this company that can help you go to the credit bureaus and challenge many bad debts, bad credit scores, and get them removed if possible, correct?
Yes, we do. We challenge them on the basis that under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, that they have to be 100% factual. If they're not correct, obsolete, unverifiable, erroneous, and just not you, we challenge them on those bases. And it's important to know that, even though these debts, we go after these things and get them taken off, you need proper education, because when we get them taken off your credit report, doesn't mean that you don't owe it. It just means it does not show on your credit report. And that's, the honesty thing, and the true education and knowing what it is and the rules of the game that you're playing. Absolutely.
Having a financial education, knowing the terms and knowing the rules is imperative for you learning how to win this game of financial wealth building. There are a couple of other things that I've talked to you about in the past. You've got credit builder programs You have the financial lockbox. You offer identity monitoring, credit monitoring, credit restoration. You have credit attorneys available to go to bat for people when they find themselves in a negative credit instance, a situation that they may not be fully aware of or responsible for. You have numerous tools available at your disposal with the company that you work for. Now, I'm just gonna throw this out here. I joined you, but when I found out about this company, it's incredible. As a real estate agent, it's important for me to be able to offer solutions to my people, to my clients. But I'm a real estate specialist. You're the wealth restoration specialist. So even though I'm a member of this company, you're my guy. If I need someone to consult with you about credit restoration, wealth building, I can send them, Mr. Aubrey, to you every time, and you can give him all these tips and tricks. You can enroll them in all of the programs that they need to start working or progressing down the road to wealth restoration. And that's incredible. The company that you work for, I'm proud to be a member of it, but it's not my jam, right? It's your jam. And I'm so happy. I've had a couple of people and on my team that we've been able to send to you. We've worked on their credit, and then you have had clients that have come to you and they've wanted to work on their credit. And because of our partnership, you can refer them to us. And then within a couple of months, we have them in a home. They're a home buyer of their own. And that's what trips our trigger, right? We get the most enjoyment out of successfully helping these people become a home buyer, right? That's what this is all about.
Man, you're right, Patrick. That's what it is. That's where my passion is. And that's what I love to do. I love to educate people. I love to help people. And, we're taken care of on the back end of that. We give more value. We give value. When you give value, people, take advantage of that, and they're able to change their lives, change their standard of living. And when they know better, they do better.
That's it. That's the comment of the day. When you know better, you do better. Hey, man, I tell you what, we're going to get off of here. I've had numerous people in my group that have made posts in our private messages about how to help their clients that may not be quite ready for the home buying process. Their credit score is not quite where it needs to be. And we're going to be sending this video out as well to help that exact person realize that there's hope, there's light at the end of the tunnel. And just because you don't qualify today doesn't mean that you won't qualify soon. If you will adhere to the rules and the principles and learn how to play the game, you too can become a home buyer, right?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. All they have to do is reach out to me. This will be shared on all of my social media pages and as well as yours, Aubrey. And as being a member of the United Wealth Educators, man, I cannot thank you enough for jumping on here with me. I know that you've encouraged a bunch of people today, and that was our goal, right? Let them know that you can be a home buyer too. You don't have to be bound by the generational things that you may think are attached to you. You have a spirit of poverty. You can never achieve the status of being a home buyer. If you'll simply learn how to get the education you need and apply these simple rules to your life, you can increase your wealth, your credit score, and you can qualify for a loan too.
Man, I 100% agree with you, Patrick. A 10-minute conversation can take your life 10 years in advance. If anybody needs to reach me, Patrick's got my information on the banner. I can be reached at Aubrey Garrett on Facebook and Instagram as well.
Absolutely. And you guys know how to get a hold of me as well at www.patricklee.work. And that will be scrolling through on the ticker below this window as well. Schedule an appointment with me. I can connect you with Aubrey, give Aubrey a call, and he can start working at repairing your credit. If we get you to the point of where you're ready to purchase a home, you can always call me, schedule an appointment, get in my calendar, and we can start looking at homes, getting you connected with a lender as well, and get you qualified for a home loan. It won't take long, I guarantee you. You got the tag team right here, the 1-2 knockout punch, Patrick Lee and Aubrey Garrett. We'd be happy to help you. Aubrey, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you for having me, Patrick, man. I appreciate you guys and all y'all are doing at XP.
You bet. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
We'll see you.